There are so many dominoes being knocked over in so many different directions as a direct result of Pablo Torre's reporting on the Clippers scandal that started 11 days ago. But as big as this story is, Pablo's impact extends much further than just the Clippers circumventing the salary cap. But just focusing in on the NBA, the other night I asked myself, well, how come the NBA didn't find this? And then continuing on that thought, well, when was the last time the NBA uncovered anything? And so that's what we're going to look at starting right now. I've gone back to the year 2000 because that is when the Joe Smith salary cap circumvention took place with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And this was uncovered by the New York Times in the year 2000. And then next, I have the Tim Donaghy betting scandal. This was reported by the New York Post in 2007. And so let's look at both of these stories. Here we just have the headline from the New York Times. Pro basketball, Wolf Smith has secret pact undercutting the NBA cap. And then we have the extended story, not behind the paywall. Joe Smith of the Minnesota Timberwolves has a secret deal with owner Glenn Taylor that would pay him as much as $93 million for 10 years, the New York Times reported Thursday. All right, so now looking at the Tim Donaghy betting scandal, here we have it from the New York Post, July 20th, 2007. And the first sentence is NBA referee Tim Donaghy is at the center of an FBI organized crime probe after he allegedly made bets on basketball games, some of which he was officiating, the Post has learned. All right, so let's go ahead and go back to the big board. Next, we have the Donald Sterling racism reporting, or just the uncovering of Donald Sterling's private recording. I have an asterisk here, but because I wouldn't expect and I wouldn't want the NBA to be recording any secret or private conversations, but there were signs here of problems well before TMZ reported on the Donald Sterling story. And so here's what I have. I have the TMZ story. LA Clippers owner to girlfriend, don't bring black people to my games, including Magic Johnson. This was published on April 25th, 2014. All right, going back to the big board, we have the Brian Colangelo burner accounts, and this surfaced at the Ringer from an anonymous tip in 2018. So let's go ahead and look at the article. We've got the curious case of Brian Colangelo and the secret Twitter account, a collection of Twitter accounts that has criticized Joel Embiid and Markelle Fultz, disclosed sensitive information, and outlined team strategy shares eye-opening similarities. What does this have to do with the 76ers decision maker? All right, so let's continue on. We've got the Mavericks sexual harassment scandal that Sports Illustrated uncovered and reported on in an expose in 2018. So let's go ahead and go to this expose. We've got the title here, Exclusive Inside the Corrosive Workplace Culture of the Dallas Mavericks. More than a dozen current and ex-NBA or ex-employees characterized the Mavs' hostile work environment, ranging from sexual harassment to domestic violence, as an open secret, quote unquote. Sports Illustrated details the allegations in a special investigation. One side note here is that I actually searched for Mavericks workplace expose, and Sports Illustrated wasn't even on the first page of Google. We had ESPN, we have the NBA's press release, we have NPR, but no Sports Illustrated. But that's a side point. Let's go back to the big board. Oh, I've got the next one up, but we'll go ahead and get two at once. We've got the Robert Sarver racism and misogyny ESPN expose that took place in 2022. And then we also have the Terry Rozier betting scandal that the Wall Street Journal first reported in 2023. So looking here, we've got the allegations of racism and misogyny within the Phoenix Suns inside Robert Sarver's 17-year tenure as an owner. And then we have a follow-up story here. Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver suspended, fined $10 million after investigation finds conduct clearly violated workplace standards. And so here, this last part of this first sentence of the article, $10 million, fined $10 million by the NBA as a result of an investigation into the Suns franchise. And where was it that I want? Oh, the NBA commissioned investigation after ESPN published a story in November 2021. So that's the key pattern here. With all of these scandals, and there have been a few more scandals, but what I wanted to focus on was where the NBA potentially could have uncovered something themselves, but didn't. And so this one sentence is what I'm getting at. The NBA commissioned an investigation after ESPN published a story in November of 2021. So the NBA is constantly reactionary to other media outlets, other people finding out information, other people that are reporting on this. It's not the NBA, despite the fact that the NBA has broad authority, broad power, and has access to information and documents, etc., that others just do not. But let's go back to the billboard. Of course, we've got the Terry Rozier betting scandal. Let's go ahead. This was a Wall Street Journal exclusive. They first reported on this. Here we have the headline: NBA star Terry Rozier under investigation in illegal betting probe. The gambling ring accused of conspiring with Jonte Porter to manipulate his performance in NBA games also bet heavily against Rozier in a 2023 game for the Hornets. So note that this article has been updated, but as far as I can tell, the Wall Street Journal was the first to report on this. All right, going back to the big board, we have the Jonte Porter betting scandal, and this is where sports books flagged irregular bets. And here we have, let's go ahead and go back. We've got the release from the NBA. This is the official release, and they talk about this and their investigation on this. But if we look further this line, the suspicious bets involving Porter's performance in the Raptors March 20 game were brought to the NBA's attention by licensed sports betting operators and an organization that monitors legal betting markets. Again, the NBA is reacting. This was brought to their attention. The NBA didn't find this on their own. And then going back to the big board, we have one last item, and everyone knows what this is. We have the Kawhi Leonard salary cap scandal with Steve Ballmer and the Clippers. And of course, this was uncovered by Pablo Torre and his investigative reporting. So let's go ahead and go back to Pablo Torre. And here we have Pablo Torre. This report is going to change so much in so many different landscapes. More questions are going to be asked, and now there is more pressure on the NBA to start finding this on their own.